6-year Algerian War. Algiers, a busy piece of metropolitan France transplanted across the Mediterranean. Frenchmen have lived and ruled here since 1830. More than 1 million Frenchmen in Algiers rub elbows with more than 10 million Muslims. Man on horseback, symbol of France, stands in Algiers' main square. On the surface, Muslim and Frenchmen live well together. They shop in the same stores.
Welcome you to one of the Stanford Festival of Iranian Art's first performances. We have a series of other performances and film showing. Some of them are on here, some of them are going to be added on as we find two generations' best playwrights or actors or directors under the same roof. We are very honored and privileged to have with us as a member of the Iranian Studies faculty, Bahram Al-Beyzai, easily the best living playwright. I suspect the best playwright ever Iran has produced. We have been fortunate to have put on some of his plays. We are hoping to put on more. We also have his accomplice, his actress partner, Mojdeh Shamsai, who is also one of the best actresses of her generation. But today's plays are from a different generation of playwrights, and it's going to be performed by essentially the students. I think all three of these people were students of Professor Beyzai. If they were not directly his students, they certainly have learned from him and see him as the master of this tradition. We did a stage reading of this play several weeks ago, and Professor Beyzai gave a brief introduction about the playwright. And he said that he is, Mr. Rahmanian, who travels between Iran and Canada, is probably the best of the post-revolutionary generation of playwrights. These were people who came to the art after the revolution, who began to discover it, who early on tried to write ideological plays, who tried to write plays that were commensurate with the ideology of the regime, and then gradually began to develop a voice of their own. This is really a play where the playwright finds a remarkable new voice. And it's a new voice not just in my view, in terms of the beauty of the discourse and the dialogue, but it's also very much representative of something that I think is happening in Iran at large. He has found the kind of recognition that I think exists in Iran, that utopianism, the idea of revolution, the idea of thinking you know the best for everyone will ultimately get you bad results. It is about the necessity of thinking not about utopias, but about improving lives and being happy with less than a perfect attempt. Attempts to create perfection usually beget totalitarian regimes that try to change people and ultimately end up destroying the people they try to change. The two people who are going to be performing, Afshin and Hashemi and Ms. Nouri, who translated this text into English, are two of the best of the young generation of actors performing in Iran, on stage, on screen. Mr. Hashemi has directed his own films. He has directed plays, he has written plays, and is also a very versatile actor. Ms. Nouri is also a very versatile actress. She's embarking on a new endeavor and doing graduate work at one of the best film schools in this country. We are very fortunate to have them here tonight. We are very fortunate to have all of you join us in welcoming them to a new reading of the interview.
Take your hands off your face, please. There's too much light here. It bothers my eyes.
You get used to it.
I can't see you.
You don't need to. I'm a person like you.
Your voice is just like Farhad.
Farhad?
He's one of those naughty ones. He's got a slingshot so big. Every afternoon he goes for a cruise. Poor birds. I hate him. Hard things to do in the world are too much. Singing nice songs, jumping over the pit beside Nani Abdullah's home, making pop-up fountains. My name is Naim.
How old are you, Naim?
Me? I'm 18, but I am very strong, even stronger than Monique, who was a year older than me.
Her name was Monique?
Yeah, asshole.
What was her surname?
Fournier. Nasty French Monique Fournier. She was terrified by me like a dog, since I was stronger than her.
Was she your friend?
Who would make friends with dogs, especially French dogs?
Was she your enemy?
The enemy of our... Pink. The enemy of our people. The enemy of our people.
A 19-year-old girl?
She lied about being 19. She was too tall, scrawny. All French are tall, scrawny. With her height, she was more than 150 years old. She's got a lot of hair. When she braids it, she looks like the pretty people. Just like the picture on our bathroom wall. There are no pictures in the bathroom here. A crow with a broken wing can't fly far.
What?
Just like a sparrow that its eyes have been taken out. It hits the first tree on its face and crooks. But they say blind hounds can find the prey sooner because they get a better nose.
Naim.
Huh.
Pay attention to me. Are you okay?
A hive of bees are stinging inside my head.
Do you want something?
Yeah,
What do you want?
to count my toes. If he ever beats me, I'll go to the street and tell everyone about it. And no matter how much he runs with that short leg, he can't catch me. What does violation of the law mean?
Violation of the law means a wrongdoing.
My father says these words are nonsense. Of course, he doesn't say nonsense. He says a bad word which Jamila told me not to tell anybody.
Even me?
She never gets angry at me.
Well, what happened then?
She died. Like Papa Fonzie's nasty kitty.
Why?
The French did something to her, then she jumped in front of a train. People said she should become a bride.
Declaration?
I don't know. Does it hurt? She screamed so much. Her stockings were torn. Here, were torn. And shout, down with the French! Down with the French!
Do you know what imperialists mean? Well, what does it mean?
It means motherfucker bastard shits. Don't you want to sleep yet?
No.
You haven't slept for 72 hours now. That's 3 days and nights.
76.
And don't you feel tired at all?
I do, I'm tired, I'm so tired.
Why don't you sleep then? This is also a kind of strike.
Your voice is so loud. How many of you are there? 5? 6.
What difference does the number make?
There were usually 5 of them. An interrogator, an investigator, a flogman, one of those rubber flogs, and 2 blue ones.
Blue ones?
The investigator's assistants. They used to wear blue uniforms. Together they were 5. But that day, another one joined them. But most of Kasbah town people don't know what their fathers' names are. Most of the mixtures ones.
That's right. According to statistics, the rate of rape by the French was too high in that area.
My mother knew more than any lullabies.
Don't you want to tell us your name?
Prisoner number 2268, Algeria, August 10th, 1959. Name Safia. Surname Larousse. Mother's name Najah.
Najah Hanshi, right?
Did you know her? Have you got a cigarette?
So it's forbidden.
Yeah, forbidden. Prohibited. As our German teacher, fluid mechanics used to say,
How come you got interested in physics?
well, Evelyn operated in different fields. You know what Evelyn stands for, right? Hundreds of revolutions would not resolve this polarizing. Because this polarizing is not political, it's geographical. There is a valley between the Arabs and the French. No. It wasn't one of these ordinary sonic bombs. My handmade bombs were quite original.
Would you explain more?
It's of no use to you. It's a simple change in the average intensity of a sound wave and its harmony. Its speed of sound in normal weather is 330 meters per second in the air, and its density is 1.2 kilograms per square meter. What I did was change the range of pressure and the range of frequency.
Could you explain more simply?
More simply, it's not possible. If you talk about physics in common words, it will be like translating diamonds into charcoal. My bomb didn't go off because of watch on wire and sparkle. I worked with vibrations. My bomb didn't work in silence, but when you set it off with the first non-coherent wavelength.
What was that non-coherent wavelength?
In each explosion, it was different. In Kokardi, it was triggered by Paris Saint-Germain fans shouting.
And what about the bomb of the faculty cafe?
That was more sensitive. As I heard, a sissy girl goes toward a gramophone and plays one of those Jitem records. The singer had been singing. Ba-dum, 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 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Did you hear? Tell Sir Jamal the number of electors cannot be counted. Tell them the name of Altium, tell what's on the bottle, where they reach all their wedding parties. Tell them Safia is not waiting for Mr. Right. Tell them my bride's price is 25,000 francs. Tell them Safia doesn't know why would a rape detector be so expensive and a bottle so cheap? Stop calling me mother! At least don't call so loud.
De 14 padam, des toujours qu'on achète au rabais. Padam, 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 des veux-tu en voilà par un paquet. Et tout ça pour tomber juste au coin de la rue, sur l'air qui m'a reconnu. Écoutez le chahut qu'il me fait. Comme si tout mon passé défilait. Pour garder du chagrin pour après, j'en ai tout un solfège sur cette terre qui bat comme un cœur de bois.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed watching you play, Film Mahmoud. So my first question is, how have you decided to deal with an Algerian issue? And I think it's the first time, no, maybe, but please correct me, that an Iranian play is dealing with a political issue from the Arab world. But of course, it's echoing other issues also. But how did you decide to?
I think this issue is not just for a country. When we talk about the revolution, it's about any countries in the world. Maybe the writer in Iran wants to talk something about our revolution or our society or something like that, but he changed the geography for saying his words. But maybe it's not. It's forbidden in the society, in the same society. You can't say about your society and your revolution. So he used Algeria as another country who they had a revolution there, but the situation is the same. And maybe we can say all the revolutions in the world are the same. And you can go further than borders and these things. Yeah. But yeah, I think I haven't read any play about Algeria. I haven't seen that. You're right. That is a play about Algeria, but by an Iranian artist.
Have you heard of a reaction from France or from Algeria about that play? Has it been played
In other
Europe
countries, you mean in
or
Algeria or in
Algeria?
France? No, we haven't. I think we haven't.
And do you plan to do so?
We like, but we don't know how we can do it.
The name of Jamile, for example, he was a very well-known name.
Yeah. The second part of the play is as same as the life of Jamila Bou Pasha, who is Algerian revolutionary. She was very famous, and all the things that we heard about this character, that her name is Safiye, the problem and the tortures is exactly the same. And the writer uses that character to write this character, but he changes something in that, and because the writer don't want to have a documentary play, he wants to be global, so he uses the science, but it's not the same. If you want to say about your character, you can say.
If there is any question, I will answer, but not voluntarily, no.
What was the rule of animals especially in your
During the rehearsal, we try to explore the science in the play. We have some animals here, like crow, that I think is a sign of myself, a sign of a person who had a problem in his body. He's a cleft lip, and he has a crow with which its leg is broken. So they are the same. And maybe the other things that they say about it, like blind hounds or sparrow, they are the other slogans that they have learned. And they want to shout them, but they don't know anything about that. They don't know the meaning of the words, but they use it. He don't want to be a crow, a broken wing crow. He want to be a blind hound. So that's why he took that girl to that room.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the show. And you know that this is the third time that I'm the audience of this theater. But the
Third
first
time, you saw Mr. Rahmanian's show too? Third time, yeah. And Mr. Elias.
And the first time in English.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to use this Persian term and say, don't be tired. How do you compare this experience, performing a theater in Persian, in Iran, and now in English in a foreign country?
Performing in your mother tongue is always something that you can feel, it's deep down in your body. But using a language which is not necessarily your mother tongue, but you can talk to more people with that, is risky but enjoyable because you have more audiences, you can talk to more people. It needs for you to work harder, to concentrate more, but when you see people from other nationalities, that they hear your stories, they listen to your stories and their questions, it's like I've talked to more people, and it's beautiful, I guess.
And about our experiences before this, I performed one of my plays, The Most Honest Murder of the World. Maybe you saw it in Tehran. I performed in English in Finland Festival, and the other thing, we performed another play by Mr. Rahmanian, Chose Manifesto, that it was in Tehran, but we performed it in English because he wants, as a director, he wants to have he wants to be closer to real. And the story was about Cho, the student in the university in the USA who killed his classmates. And we spoke in English, but in a bad English, like me, just like me now. Yeah. So, but I'm afraid about performing in English because in my language, as Atma said, you know the words, you know everything about the words. But when you want to say it in another language, you don't know the depth of that word. But you are trying it.
Are you guys just traveling, visiting, or you're moving out of Iran?
I didn't say that. Yes, we are.
So you're going back and performing in Iran, or?
Yeah, we're planning to.
About this play.
This play in general, with your career.
Yeah. We are not forbidden until now.
We had some discussion on one of your rehearsals. It was about, because we did the same play, maybe it would be interesting for audience here, especially those who watched the other one. We had a more dramatic approach to this play, and you were saying that it was our first choice to make it too dramatic, and then you had this option. I think it would be interesting if you explain it.
I don't want to say that which of them is better or which of them is right, because it's a choose or selection.
Choice.
It's a choice. Yeah. It's a choice. You can act these scenes very dramatical, and surely it will be more sensitive, maybe. But you can choose another way. We both of us we tried in rehearsals in these kinds, but we choose this kind. it's two kind of view, and we can't say which of them is better. But our attitude was to, you know, when you see documentaries about the person who was tortured or who was in prison, they didn't talk dramatical about their experiences. We are not as same as they, because we are in 2 years or 3 years after the revolution, or after having an experience in prison, like Safiye in the play. But we can, as a character, we can pass these situations. We can say them as a narrator, not as a person who exactly knows that in that situation. And very blended with sense blend. It's a choice. I think maybe that kind is more sensitive, more emotional, but this kind is more logical. Maybe
Makes people
you
think.
can use the brain for analyzing the situation, not being involved with
The emotion.
With emotion. Maybe, I'm not sure that it works. You should say
No,
that it
I
works or
loved
not
it.
yet.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Since you might have had a conversation with the playwright, is he in any way directly impacted by the film Battle of Algiers? Because there's some references, some scenes, the scene that she depicts about the explosion in the bar is almost verbatim from that film. Was he aware of this film? Is he?
Sure. Because I know Mr. Rahmanen is a person who watch all the movies in the world. I know it. But the other thing that I'm sure about it is about the book, which maybe Simon de Beauvoir wrote this, about Jamil Abu Pasha's life.
The Algeria revolution.
Yeah.
It was written in Farsi. Sadruddin Elahi wrote.
It's translated.
About
It's translated, and I'm sure that he used this book more than everything. Because when we read the book, not all of them, the summary of it, all the signs that is in the play exactly was as same as that. Any other question? So we can speak Farsi, yeah? It's very hard for me to speak English.
Hey, back going on.
So I guess if there's no question, we could just thank you all for coming, keeping us company, and we hope you enjoyed it, you guys. Thank you.